and sort of their empirical outcome. The second thing that bothers me is one of the reasons that the evaluation literature is so mixed is because we don't have a well-defined problem. Growth Management Act had no measurable outcomes other than we need to do something about the environment. The third thing that bothers me is planning a process only, or does it say anything about what we should achieve? Is planning a product? Is there a product of planning other than just the process? And so I'm going to anticipate the very last talk or topic about Savior or Satan. And I'm going to conclude right now that it's neither Savior or Satan, it's purgatory. We are stuck in endless conversation, hoping for the best. Okay, so I've been assigned Chapter 7 by Carruthers, Ornett, McLaughlin. Carruthers is an economist with the HUD Office of Policy Research. Ornett and McLaughlin are regional scientists, a special breed of people of which we have none at FAU, at University of California at Irvine. And Ornett is in fact the editor of the Journal of Regional Science. I've been asked to provide a description of the chapter, not to be too critical, and then to talk about what I think about it. So, here we go. This chapter, and I'm really all about what words mean. And so, I hate to say this, but listen carefully to the construction of the sentences. This is part of the problem in evaluation. Chapter seeks to examine the relationship between the spatial outcomes of a regional adjustment model, and growth management. It can't be done. There are three overarching questions that these regional scientists asked. Did Florida grow as modeled? Do we care? Does growth management matter? Yes, we care. And something about the effectiveness of the growth management policies, which somehow comes out of a regional science model. Can't be done. Okay, so the regional adjustment model is actually an improvement on most evaluations of growth management, where the typical approach is to sort of say, gee, Florida grew faster than Arkansas, so growth management must work. The regional adjustment model basically overcomes the chicken and egg question of what comes first, jobs or people. It says that they are simultaneously determined. And not only are they simultaneously determined, but both are determined by initial conditions in the region, makes sense, and by a vector of other things, including growth management. And in this particular article, they equate environmental quality with the only other thing other than income that matters. So it's sort of a strange environment, strange regional adjustment model. Growth management is talked about from 1982 to 1997. And they talk about three periods, sort of 75 to 85, 85 to 75, yeah, before 85, 75, whatever, three periods. And try and sort of look at incremental differences, sort of the stuff that Efraim was talking about. So they calibrated such a model using the entire Atlantic Southeast. Somehow or another, our economy is related to the northern parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and other places. 8 states, 616 counties. The model is calibrated at the county level. So all the units of observations are counties, and in their version, urban sprawl means that we have increased density around Lake Okeechobee from South Florida perspective. It doesn't work. However, the model works, and then what they do is they make maps of the Atlantic Southeast region, and they show counties which are sort of moving in the way that they predicted, or not moving in the way they predicted. And at the regional level, it works. At the local level, you buy the book, get it signed, and you make up your own judgments. Okay, so the results are a mixed bag, not surprisingly. How do the actual outcomes fare? The reality on the ground? The model works better for rural areas and not urban areas. They don't seem to be able to capture in this model urban differentiation. Did growth management matter? Well, it's a suggestion that growth management policies may have brought land use patterns into line with market tendencies, particularly with relations to population but not employment. This was the period, folks, where we had all these office parks, and particularly in South Florida, where the sort of edge of the city sort of happened in this time frame. What about the effectiveness of growth management? And this is the problem with people talking out of turn. This is a regional economics model, not a policy model. So they are forced to say things like, may have had a significant leveling of the regulatory framework. I don't know why we want a level regulatory framework. It seems to me that if we want strong, vibrant downtowns, we don't want these rules to be the same as they are in Hendry County. May have had a significant level of the regulatory framework, may help have brought economic actors into equilibrium. It's a regional science word. We need to be there. Okay, so the conclusion here, my conclusion about the article or the chapter is that the lack of either a stated or measurable outcome for growth management hinders evaluation research. The regional adjustment model is an improvement over previous attempts, and the policy, that I'm not sure about the policy implications of this kind of approach, but it's there nevertheless. All right, so now I have my 2 minutes, right, to sort of do my piece. With due apologies to Efraim, no, this doesn't work anymore because I didn't do this, but in the article it was sort of something about nothing happened between 87 and 92 because we were in a policy development phase when in fact we were in a recession. We continue to rely on overly simplistic notions in trying to do evaluations. And I have two examples. One is a recent thesis done by somebody from that university in Gainesville who covered the point spread, unfortunately, about how we could accommodate all the creative jobs coming into the state of Florida. And creative jobs are better than normal, non-creative jobs. The problem is that the author of this tome made all jobs the subject of the work. So the author did not understand the difference between a creative job and a non-creative job. These creative jobs, 30% of the economy, 40% of the wages, etc., they're growing. Or are they? The Richard Florida hypothesis, which is significant here, because Richard Florida actually says that jobs follow talent. It's wrong. And it's wrong in our own backyard. And we have a wonderful example in Jupiter where we have Scripps and hopefully Max Planck. And these people did not come here because of our abundance of scientists. Thank God they're coming because they fill out our employment profile. We need them to help us grow, not because we were so good. So good job. Why do we need an even regulatory landscape? Okay. I'm going to conclude real quickly with sort of two sets of things. I wrote two papers about sort of how we could improve evaluation and what kinds of things we can consider. The first one is this notion of centripetal versus centrifugal forces. Why do we need compact downtowns? The answer is we need